Welcome back to another special edition of World Traveler Cooking. Now, last week we did the German tomaten sandwich, and I said it was similar to the Italian bruschetta. So, this week we're going to do bruschetta. Bruschetta is a much more complicated dish, but it comes from more humble roots. See, everywhere where you have bread cultures in Europe, you have the challenge of what to do when bread goes stale. In Eastern Europe, of course, you have a lot of rye breads and you make things like kvass out of it. In Italy, you have a tendency of doing things like bruschetta. The nice thing about bruschetta, croutons, those sorts of things is that you can take more stale bread and fry it and make it more usable and edible. So this is a dish which comes out of that tradition. Now, bruschetta's relatively simple. We have some bread, white bread of some sort. I would say use like a ciabatta or something else that's like relatively substantial and chewy. Have a tomato. We'll add some salt, of course. I didn't bring the salt out. You can add fresh mozzarella. We're going to do that today. Basil. We will do that today. We'll have some garlic that I'm going to spread on the bread once it's fried, and so a little more that we'll add to the tomato mixture along with the basil. And of course, we have olive oil. Olive oil will be used both to fry the bread and also to sort of mix with the tomatoes, mozzarella, and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first step is to fry the bread. We're going to fry the bread in the olive oil. And as the olive oil gets hot, we will add our bread to it. Basically, we're going to fry it like we would crouton. I'm going to fry 4 pieces here just for the demonstration, but I can of course make more. The nice thing about this dish is you can more or less eyeball all the ingredients. And then while this fries, I'm going to go ahead and cube the tomatoes. I'm not going to show that on here, but you'll see the result later. So we want to fry it until it's brown on both sides. So this is starting to get brown on one side. That one's a little overdone. Oh well. And now we'll fry the other side. I'm going to turn the heat down so that we don't have that problem again. And I'll be back. So here, everything's brown on both sides. So we'll take it out, put it on the plate, and then we will finish our presentation, and then on to the taste test. Okay, so I've diced my tomato. I've added the fresh mozzarella, which I've hand kind of shredded. Next, I'm going to just stir that up with some olive oil. I'll probably add some more olive oil in a bit. And to this, I'm going to add some salt. And then, very important, Italians like to hand tear basil leaves. They say if you cut it on a cutting board, you'll lose a lot of the flavor. So we're going to just hand tear these in, and then we'll probably add a little more olive oil and stir it around again. And then I will prepare the bread and probably stir in just a little bit of finely chopped garlic into this mixture as well. The garlic is optional. Americans tend to overdo garlic when they're making Italian food. You don't want to do that. But this dish in particular does do better with just a little bit of garlic. So here we are. Just a nice bit of basil. Again, this is largely to taste. stir this in with a bit more olive oil. And we'll set this aside while I get the bread done and the garlic chopped. So I've cut a little wedge out of, or a little slice out of this garlic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rub the bread on both sides, every piece of bread, and just kind of give it a little bit of a nice garlic flavor. That's smelling really good. You're going to see that pretty much the entire slice of garlic's getting wound down into this, or most of it had. So now I'm going to take pretty much this, and so about 2/3 of the clove. I'm going to chop it up finely, and I'm going to add it to my tomato mixture. So now I'm just going to take this finely chopped garlic, I'm going to stir it in here, and then I'm going to get ready to mound the see how good that looks. And then to prepare, you're just going to take a nice scoop of this, and we're going to mound it on top like this. And I'm going to do that with all four, and then I'll be back for the taste test. And here is our bruschetta. Next up, the taste test. And now for the taste test. Now this is really, really good. This is amazing. All the flavors come together. It's very light, very lively. Makes you happy to just to taste it. Smells great. This is amazing. Now, if you find this content interesting, please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Helps this channel grow, and it helps me see what to make more of. Additionally, if you'd like to support my channel, check out my Patreon page, where you can support my work and sometimes see early access to some videos. Additionally, if you make a dish like this and you make it differently, I'd love to hear how you do it differently in the comments. Please let me know. At any rate, bon appetit, and see you next week.